Good morning, students. Today we will start with the next topic of first unit of CS2. In the previous lecture, we have studied interrupts. What are interrupts and what are the different types of interrupts and priority of interrupts, maskable and non-maskable interrupts. So that was all about the interrupts of 8085. Today we will study next topic related to 8085, registers of 8085. What type of registers are used in 8085? So let's start with this topic. The first register is accumulator register. Accumulator register is one of the very important register because accumulator register is also known as processor register or processing register because all the processing is done in the accumulator register, because accumulator register is used to perform the processing, and as well as when we perform simple calculation, results will be stored back in accumulator. So that's why the another name of the accumulator is processor register or processing register. So the accumulator is an 8-bit register. The size of the accumulator is 8-bit in 8085. See students, here we are studying the particular registers of 8085 microprocessor. So in 8085 the size of the accumulator is 8-bit. So it is a 8-bit register. That is the part of the arithmetic and logic unit. As I have told you, accumulator is known as processing register. So that's why it is also used to perform arithmetic as well as logical calculation. So that's why it is part of arithmetic and logical unit, that is ALU. After performing arithmetic and logical operation, the result is stored back in accumulator, and accumulator is defined as register A. The symbol that we use to denote accumulator register is A, capital A. So whenever A is written, it means it is accumulator register. I hope it is clear to you, because accumulator is one of the important register. It is processor register. It is used to perform all the processing, and the result will be stored back in the accumulator. Next type of registers used in 8085 are general purpose register. General purpose register means the type of registers that we use for general purpose. So in 8085 there are total 6 general purpose registers. The size of the each register is 8-bit. 8-bit means every register is able to store 8-bit of data. So the different types of general purpose register are B, C, D, E, H, L. Students, at the start of the session, I have explained you the registers, where I have also explained you general purpose registers of any of the microprocessor. That was different thing. Different as in general purpose registers or general registers of every microprocessor. But here we are studying specifically registers of 8085. So these 6 registers are also used in 8085, B, C, D, E, H, L. These can be combined as also register pairs. BC is individual register, B, C, D, E, H, L. These are total 6 individual registers. But we always or sometimes use these registers in paired form. Paired form means pairing is fixed. So the pairing is as follow: BC. We always use pair register as BC, DE, HL. So when we use these registers as in paired form, the size of this register, paired register, becomes 16-bit. So we can store 16-bit data in paired register BC. So for example, students, we have to store the address of any instruction in journal purpose register. So you know that the address of 8085 is of 16 bit, whereas the data is of 8 bit that we use in 8085, because the size of the data bus is 8 bit, whereas the size of the address bus is 16 bit, and the size of the address in 8085 is also 16 bit. So if we have to store address in any of the journal purpose register, we cannot store the address directly in any of the one register. Whenever we have to store the address of any of the instruction, like 5005 is the address, those 5005 is the address of any instruction. So the actual size of the address is 16 bit, 5005. So if we have to store that address in any of the journal purpose register, we can only store in paired register. Paired as in BCDEHL. One part of that address, that is 8 bits, will be stored in BC, whereas the next 8 bits will be stored in C. So this is how we store the address or 16-bit data in journal purpose register. So that's why we use these registers in paired form. These registers are used to store or copy temporary data. We also make use of these type of registers to store the data temporarily or to copy the data. So that was all about general purpose register. See, the size of the accumulator is 8 bit. We cannot store address in accumulator register because the size of the accumulator is 8 bit, whereas the address of the 8085 instruction is always 16 bit. So in accumulator we always store data. We cannot store address in accumulator. And as accumulator is processor register, it is used to perform processing. We always have to perform processing on data. So that's why accumulator is also used to store data, and processing of after the processing of that data, the result will also be stored back in accumulator. Next type of registers of 8085 are flag registers. Flag register means flag registers are used to indicate the status of different things. So flag register is a special purpose register and it is completely different from other types of registers. It is different from another types of registers because as the name is flag, it is used to indicate different values by representing the values of the flags. So there are total 5 flags. There are total 5 flags or total 5 flag registers, and the value of these flags can be set or reset. Set or reset means 0 and 1. Set means 1, reset means 0. So every flag must have either 0 or 1 value, which means every flag must be in either set or reset form. So after an operation according to these flags are set or reset after an operation according to data condition of the result in the accumulator and the other register. So whatever will be the result, or after performing any of the operation, what is the result, what will be the result, the status of flag registers will be set or reset accordingly. The first flag register is sign flag. Sign flag means, for example, we have performed one operation like a plus b or 2 plus 3. So after the operation, the result is 5. So sign flag indicates whether the result is positive or negative. So sign flag will set the values accordingly If the result is positive, it will set the value as 1. If the result is negative, it will set the value as 0. Next is zero flag. Zero flag is used to indicate whether the result, whether after performing the calculation, the result is 0 or not. If the result is 0, as the name is zero flag, the zero flag means if the result is 0, the flag will be set. That is, flag will be set to 1. If the value of the zero flag is 1, it means the result after the operation is 0. If the result is non-zero, the value of the flag will be 0. Next is auxiliary carry flag. Auxiliary carry flag means if there will be a carry after performing the operation, then the auxiliary carry flag will be set to 1, otherwise 0. Next flag is parity flag. Parity flag means parity bit. Parity bit is, students, here I want to tell you in brief, because there is a concept regarding parity flag, so I will not go into that detail. Parity is a type of extra bit that we added to perform that will be used in error detection and error correction method. So that is parity bit. So parity bit is if they have used or there is a parity bit in the data, the value of the parity flag will be set to 1, otherwise 0. It will be set to 0. Next is carry flag. Carry flag means if there is a carry, then it will be set to 1, else it will be set to 0. So these are the total 5 flag registers of 8085 which are used to indicate the status after the operation, or which are used to set the values of the flags after the operation. So as I have told you that the values of the different flags will be set according to the different types of operations. So that was all about flag register. Next register of 8085 is program counter register. Program counter is one of the very important register. Program counter register is used to store the address of the next instruction to be executed. See, students, whenever CPU has to execute any instruction, whenever CPU has to execute any of the instructions, CPU receives or gets that instruction from the ready queue. I have also told in the operating system in the second unit of the CS1, like operating system, that what is that how the processes are stored in the ready queue, what are the phases of the process, like ready, start, new, start, ready, running, executed. So ready is when processes are waiting in the ready queue, and running is when processes are executing. So CPU, when we provide CPU to any of the process, it means is in execution mode. So whenever CPU has to execute any of the instructions, CPU gets the instruction from the ready queue. So similarly, we use program counter register. Whatever instruction CPU has to in 8085, whatever instruction CPU has to execute, CPU will get or receive that value from the program counter. So what will be in the program counter, CPU will next execute that instruction. So I want to give you one example. For example, as of now CPU is executing one instruction, and in the program counter register there is one instruction with address 1001, with address 1001. After the completion of that instruction, whatever CPU is executing, after the completion of that instruction, CPU get the instruction 1001 from the program counter, because in the program counter the next instruction is 1001. So after completing the current process, or after completing the execution of the current process, the CPU will receive the next instruction from the program counter, whatever will be in the program counter. So according to that example, it was 1001 instruction, and then CPU will start executing 1001 instruction. So that is program counter. So program counter register is used to sequence the execution of the instructions. Sequence means it provides sequence also. For example, there are total 5 instructions. So program counter will place all the instructions in a queue one by one, and CPU will pick all the instructions one by one. So program counter is also used to provide sequence to the execution of the instructions, and the main task of the program counter is it is used to store the address of the next instruction to be executed. So when a byte or a machine code is being fetched, the program counter is incremented by 1 to point to the next memory location. This means, for example, we have stored one instruction 1001 in the program counter, and when CPU will get that instruction, then we will increment the value of the program counter. Why we increment? Because now the pointer will move to the next instruction, because for example, we have stored 1002 instruction after 1001, then after 1001 the pointer will start pointing to 1002. Then after completing the 1001 instruction, after completing the execution of that instruction, the CPU will get the instruction from the next pointer, that is 1002. So that's why we have to increment the program counter. So the very simple definition of the program counter is, whenever you get a question on the program counter, you can simply write this, that program counter is used to store the address of the next instruction to be executed. And the size of the program counter in 8085 is 16-bit. 16-bit, the size of program counter. As program counter is used to store the addresses, the address of 8085 is of 16-bit. So that's why the size of the program counter is also 16-bit, because it contains addresses. Next register of the 8085 is stack pointer. Stack pointer is used as a memory pointer. It points to a memory location in read-write memory called the stack. Stack is which we use to store the data. We have also studied stack in operating system in CS1. So this is the same stack. Stack pointer is for where I have told you that in the stack we use top of stack to indicate the location, that what is on the top of the stack. Similarly, in 8085 we use another type of pointer which is known as stack pointer. Stack pointer is basically another name of top of stack. So stack pointer is used to indicate the different locations in the stack. So that was all about the registers of 8085, where we have studied accumulator, general purpose registers, flag registers, program counter register, and stack pointer register. Accumulator is of 8-bit, and normal general purpose register is of 8-bit, but when we use these registers in pair form, we use it as 16-bit. Status registers, program counter, and stack pointer. So that was all about the registers. You can get a question in any form, like you can also get a question in the form like explain the types of registers of 8085, or you can also get a question in form like what are the flag registers of 8085, what is program counter register, what is stack pointer register. So you can get a question in any form. So students, with this we have finished first unit of CS2. In this we have covered so many important topics. So with this we have finished the first unit of CS2, Introduction to Microprocessor and Organization of 8085. The weightage of this unit is 25 marks in your exam. Here we have studied microprocessor, definition of microprocessor, generations of microprocessor, block diagram of microcomputer. Where I have told you two block diagrams of microcomputer, the basic things of microcomputer. Then generic microprocessor. Generic microprocessor is general things of any of the microprocessor. As I have told you, there are so many different types of microprocessor. So this is the general structure of any microprocessor. These all are the general structure. I have explained all the general things of general microprocessor, where we have studied ALU registers, instruction decoder, timing and control section, interrupt control and buses. Now after that we have started 8085, because you have you have one typical microprocessor in your syllabus, that is 8085. 8085 is one of the category of the microprocessor. So 8080, where we have studied the complete configuration of 8085, data bus, address bus of 8085, and program counter register is of 16-bit, stack pointer is of 16-bit, and general purpose registers B, C, D, E, H, L. After that we have studied pin diagram of 8085, where we have studied the function of each and every pin in detail, because you can get a question in any of the individual pin. See students, they will not ask you the whole pin diagram of 8085. They will ask you different pins of 8085 with their description. So you must know the working of every pin. After that there is another topic related to 8085, registers of 8085, where we have studied accumulator, general purpose, flag registers, program counter and stack pointer. The next topic related to 8085 is interrupt. Interrupt, types of interrupts, maskable and non-maskable interrupts, vectored and non-vectored interrupts, and priority of interrupts. With this we have finished first unit of CS2. First unit of CS2. Tomorrow I will start with second unit of CS2. The second unit of CS2 is, the name of the second unit of the CS2 is instruction set. Instruction set and programming of 8085, where we study what are the different types of instructions are available and how we can design programs related to 8085. The second unit of CS2 is very important unit, because the weightage of the second unit of the CS2 is 45 marks. I will check the weightage. So the weightage of the second unit is 40 to 45 marks, and the programs that we have to perform in the practical portion, this is also from the unit number 2. So the unit number 2 is very important. Tomorrow I will start with second unit of CS2. So that's all for today.